Boy, that's cap. Boy, that's cap. That's cap. Boy, that's cap. Boy, that's cap. Boy, that's cap. How I'm gonna be there? Boy, that's cap. Boy, that's cap. How I'm gonna be there? How I'm gonna...
All right, and hello again to YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever you may be. Welcome. One come all. What's up? What's good? What's cracking? My name is Crackin Atkins. Welcome to episode 1 of the Crackin Atkins Podcast, the podcast in all caps with no cap. This is going to be different than episode 0, as I said, because I have 2 special guests joining me today. I won't be talking to an echo chamber, and I definitely picked some 2 special guests for the occasion. So 2 people we have joining me today on the first episode, inaugural episode of the Crackin Atkins Podcast. Episode 0 was just a pilot. We have YoFavScrub and Lonlily. How are you 2 doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for inviting me to this.
Yeah, I'm doing all right too. So Scrub, I thank you for allowing me to be here in this podcast.
Absolutely. I'm like super excited to have you guys on. I'm super excited for the idea as a whole. I mean, like I guess to give you guys context and also give viewers context, my episode 0 is already recorded, but at the time that we're recording episode 1, episode 0 isn't posted yet. And so my episode 0 is a little bit like biographical. It's telling people a little bit like why I wanted to create the podcast in the first place, of just wanting to have a conversation space, and like Twitter fleets is actually a big reason why. Yeah, the funny thing about it is that because I kind of had the idea that for every episode that I wanted to do, I always wanted to have guests. I just like don't like the idea of just like me preaching at people and just like talking. But for the first 2 guests, I knew that I wanted it to be you 2 specifically. And contextually, it's pretty funny why. Do you guys want to try to take a guess as to why I wanted you 2 specifically for the first guests on this show?
My only guess is just because that, I don't know, we're probably the most like time spent commentators with you in tournaments.
That's not wrong.
Special, dude.
Yeah, that's what I would guess, because yeah, we definitely have been with you at a lot in a lot of events, especially as Script said, me, since I've commentated with you basically since I started. I mean, you were just straight up the first person I ever commentated with, so I would assume that.
Yes, and I mean like that's a very practical assumption. I mean, like maybe subconsciously that also plays into why that I wanted you guys on the first episode, because you're just like 2 friends that I'm super comfortable on the mic with anyways. But like that's actually not the main reason that I wanted you 2 on the podcast. In fact, the main reason that I wanted you 2 on the podcast is really gonna lend a really funny context as to how long this has been in the making. So like I wanted to get 2 people on the podcast whose background was in Smash Bros. And I knew that you 2 both actually didn't start with BBTAG. You guys actually have Smash backgrounds. And the reason for that was because the time period in which I was planning this out, Nicktoons All-Star Brawl just got announced.
Oh.
And so I was like, dude, yeah, this is perfect. I'm planning this out. I'll have like Scrub and Lon on the podcast. Doesn't matter if they're interested in the game at all. Like, we'll just have like an entire episode about that, and we'll like talk about that. Because like, you know, they know about Smash and stuff. Maybe they have some exciting like insight to that. But like so much time has passed since then. Like, and so much has happened. Like Guilty Gear just got a DLC character to drop literally today as we're recording this. I mean, Melty is dropping something damn near every day. We've all been under the same roof since then. So like I kind of don't even want to talk about Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl like that anymore. I do want to like maybe spend a couple minutes on it, but not a whole episode on it. I mean, like when that trailer dropped, like did you guys have any immediate reactions to it? Because Twitter was going wild. Twitter was ablaze.
I mean, my immediate reaction was like, dude, holy shit, this is just PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which I went ham as fuck on too.
Right.
I was like, this is just that, but with Nickelodeon characters. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I might play this just as like, you know, for shits and giggles. and then Twitter's going off.
Yeah, Twitter was going ham, right? Like it felt Twitter was going unjustifiably ham because like we've seen Smash clones and like Flash games and all these things, and like we've seen like you said, PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, and it's just like, why is Twitter going so ham with this? Like I didn't get it much at the time. So like when the game got announced, personally for me, I was just like, all right, that's cool, I guess. Like I wasn't really feeding too much into the hype until I found out who's developing the game.
The Slap City developers.
Yes, when I found out that Ludosity was on it, I was like, wait, this is a real game. Like this is literally going to be a real game. Because like
this could be legit.
Yeah, because like correct me if I'm wrong, but like when it comes to Smash clones, like my understanding of it is like Brawlhalla is like kind of at the top. Because like Brawlhalla has like a esports scene around it that's maybe more affluent than some of the games we even play if we're keeping it 100. Like Brawlhalla's out here, and then like Rivals of 8th Year. I've never played Brawlhalla, but I played Rivals of 8th Year, and that game is pretty dope. Have you two tried either of those games?
Yeah, I played Brawlhalla. I personally don't really like it. That game's like super floaty kind of stuff. In my opinion, I think like the closest thing to like Smash clones are easily Rivals of Aether and Slap City, but that's just because I'm a melee simp. So
I feel it.
For me, I have played neither of those games, and yeah, I don't really have that much history in terms of playing stuff outside of Smash. Actually, you know what? There is this one Smash clone that my friend did make me play, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. But it was basically like this game that was basically copying Melee. It didn't do very well, but I'm trying to remember what it was called, because I remember my friend would ask me for like hours on end, like, dude, you gotta play this game. It looks sick. It's just like Melee. And I don't know if he was being ironic or not, because that game kind of sucked. Icons Legacy Edition. That's what it was called.
Wait, I remember that game. Holy crap.
Yeah. Like my friend would go off on me for like hours about like, yo, this game is sick. It's low key gonna be the next Melee. And I looked at the trailer. It was like, do you want me to play this? Do you really want me to play this?
Lightning fast gameplay.
And literally, it took like him a week, and I was just like, just shut up, I'll play it. And I played it for 3 hours, and I hated it because the game sucked. It was so clunky and awkward, but like, yeah, that's my experience with Smash clones. Is I've only really ever played this one game for like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh! All right, so I mean, you gave your side of things. Your friend thinks it's the best game in the world, so we really have to go to like the most objective measure of if this game is a good game or not. We got to go to the Steam reviews. All right, I'm gonna scroll down line. We're gonna see if you're exposed.
You go to the Kizzy K video on this. I think Kizzy actually played this game. Put a video about it.
Really? Are you sure it wasn't Rushdown Revo? Oh, mixed. All right, Lon, you're in the clear. This game sucks.
Yeah, you know, actually, even more context to this too. I did not necessarily play the Steam release. My friend made me go out of my way to go on their website and sign up for the open beta, or no, I think it was the closed beta. Like, he made me go out of the way to sign up for the closed beta, got me made me get a beta key, and made him play with it for 3 hours, and I hated it. It sucked.
Oh,
like
my God.
He made me go through so much effort to that. So yeah, that's my experience with Icons. I don't even remember who I played in that. That game was whack.
It's a thing of the past, right? We have Nicktoons All-Star Brawl to look forward to, right? But like yeah, I mean, like, so Icons, we won't even mention that in the conversation of like Brawlhalla and Rivals, because I think those are like the golden two. Like those games are cool. I actually played Rivals for a bit. I played the Orca well, and like I didn't like start competing in the game or anything, but it was just a fun game, like kind of pastime that I played with a couple of friends. But like Slap City is like the third one, like right underneath those two. Like it's just like right up there. So Nicktoons coming out under that developer, it'll be something. But I mean, that hype is long gone past. I think the way I'll wrap this up is like, are there any characters that are in the current roster or like that you guys would like to see in the game? I mean, like I said on Twitter, like I would love to see Jenny XJ9 if she's like in the game. But like, are there any like classic Nick characters or like current Nick characters, I don't know, that you guys like want in that game or would like to see in that game potentially?
Damn, dude. I'm gonna throw an obscure, technical. Actually, I think he's actually just straight up a Nickelodeon character. Oops. Not Goldlewis.
I'm leaking stuff. My bad. No, Gold. I accidentally just linked the first Nicktoons All-Star Brawl DLC character, Goldlewis Dickinson. No.
Nah, bro. I'm trying to get fucking Tack from the Power of Juju.
Tack from the Power of Juju. I remember that. Is it Nick related?
I think there was a cartoon about it. It was Tack and the Power of Juju. I think it was Nickelodeon that made that.
We're going to Google. What's going on here? They're showing me the cast. Wikipedia. Yeah, Nickelodeon Animation Studios.
Yo,
I see.
Tack and the Power of Juju.
Are there any characters on that you're any Nick characters, just like Nick shows that you're like a fan of?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really that big of a Nickelodeon kid. I was more of a Cartoon Network kid, so Nickelodeon show. I mean, we already have SpongeBob, so I mean,
Classic.
someone from SpongeBob, I guess. Maybe put Miss Puff in there for something. I think that'd be a funny gag character. I don't know.
Dude, Mrs. Puff would be sick. Actually, like, so Mrs. Puff would be sick, but I would be afraid that she's gonna play too much like Fat Princess from PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Oh,
so
bro,
like,
don't you dare name that top tier in this.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, I said I didn't want to spend too much time on Nicktoons All-Star Battle Royale, so we're not going to. I have you two on the pod. Let's talk the BBTAG, all right? Because like I said, there's like, a lot has happened since that game has been announced. And one of the big things was like us being under the same roof. And, as we're talking about BBTAG, I do want to like mention a gripe of like, I don't really want to talk about like, and maybe this is gonna get a bit too real. Like I don't really want to talk about like future patches or like DLC or anything, because like,
oh no,
I don't think we're getting anything. I don't want to rehash the question of like, so if BBTAG got a patch in 2022, which characters do you guys gonna see at 3 point? I don't want to talk about that. There's more than enough going on now. And like offline coming back and excitement around that. I think we can talk about that. So I mean like, Condescend, shout outs to the homie Cancel Homies and Connor G. That just happened for us. What was it, last Tuesday? From where we're speaking?
Last Tuesday, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Offline play and all of us meeting each other, how has offline felt? Because like Scrub, I know it's been like some time for you since the last time you played offline being in 2020, and like Lon, if I'm not mistaken, that was like your first time playing offline, or at least like going to like some type of local scene.
Yeah, first time ever playing offline that wasn't my brother.
That's insane.
Yeah. I've had zero online or offline interaction in BBTAG outside of Condescend, and I mean, I guess that's mostly just due to when I got into the game is 3 months before COVID happened, so I didn't really. I mean, I'm sure I had access to locals in that 3-month period, but I definitely wasn't confident myself to actually like go to locals during that time. So yeah, Condescend was definitely the first event that I really got to experience offline BBTAG.
Right. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, like, Lon, we've always kind of like known you for your conversion potential, like on every team that you play. Like, pretty much when you're rolling a team into tournament, I feel like if I'm watching you and you get like the hit and you're in your zone, like you're pulling off optimal, or at least like what looks optimal or very impressive stuff, especially when you're on Oreo Yukiko. So like to see that like in an offline setting and have that be consistent, like the set you played against Blue Sub was just like such a treat to watch. And I mean, like, Blue Sub was there, not even just to like just throw his name out there. Like that was a complete surprise to all of us.
Oh my god, when Blue Sub showed up to the Condescend, I'm not even kidding, Cheap and I stopped our game. We heard Connor go like, and get some water for Blue Sub, and I was like, what? I hit the pause button so fast. I told Cheap, I was like, yo, Blue Sub's here, and he's like, what? He puts his controller down. We both go. I think we were like the first two people to just jump at him. We were like, holy shit, it's Blue the Sub.
Dude, it's like a similar. I was kind of in a state of shock at first because I was playing against Raiden, and we were like right by the door. And so like because I remember the angle that you guys were at. You guys were like actually looking at the door, so you guys were able to see the door open and maybe even identify the person first before it was announced like who it was, or at least like as soon as he said it, you were able to like see Blue Stub. The angle I was at,
we were in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. I see it. But like the angle I was at, my back was like to the door, and so like I heard Connor say that it was Blue Sub, and so like I see him, and I'm like playing with Raiden, and I'm just like, Raiden's just like yo, and I'm just like sitting there, kind of in a state of shock. I'm just like muttering like, "Ain't no way, ain't no way." So like I end up pausing it, and I like put the controller down. I gave him a hug, and there's like tears in my eyes. I'm like, "Yo, this is nuts!" Like,
I was like, "Damn, your name Ralph."
That's Ralph, dude.
That's Ralph, dude.
That was Ralph. But yeah, that.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely Blue Sub, just showing up out of nowhere. Definitely a one of many highlights during the first Coliseum I got to go to. It was great seeing him. I never thought I'd actually get the chance to meet him in real life, but yeah, there he was, and I got to play a first to 10 set with him, and it was hype.
Yes, absolutely. That's. I don't want to jump too ahead of like some of like the ideas of things that I want to ask you guys, but that's some of the high hopes and things that I'm looking forward to with like things starting to open back up and the like offline starting to become more of a thing again. It's just like, you know, throughout this past year, tag is a really unique case study, man, because like we are the community is probably like the most general way that I could put that, but like there isn't like pretty much everybody in the tag community kind of knows each other at this point, right? Like we're a pretty condensed small group, but we have a lot of power in numbers, and we're a very passionate group, right? And I think a lot of that togetherness is something that has just been formed throughout the past year with everything being online, with us all suffering through like delay based netcode and like complaining about it, and then like figuring out solutions to where we can play against each other via like parsec or like whatever means necessary. And so when it comes to those offline tournaments open back up and being able to put faces to names, like it's a priceless thing, you know. And I think that's something that I'm looking forward to like a lot over these next coming months. I mean, like kind of leading off that, like did you I guess I know Scrub is signed up for CEO. Lon, are you signed up for CEO, or are you just like kind of playing the field? Maybe some like local stuff opens back up.
I don't think I could make it to CEO, unfortunately, due to well, it being in Florida, and then like I think also school will be a problem during that time. But if I could go to CEO at like reasonably, I would definitely love to. But for one, I think it's too late for signups now. But like definitely have to see such a big major tournament for a game I love being just hosted anywhere. So I'll definitely be cheering everyone on the sidelines for sure. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Understandable. I mean, it do be on the other side of the country from us, so
Yeah,
I understand. But I mean, even that alone, because like in trying to think of offline events that I wanted to ask if you guys are going to, that is that's unfortunate. Kind of the state that we're in SoCal at the moment is that like we have Coliseum, and then we don't have much locals beyond that yet. Like things are still being figured out in this transition time for SoCal, because we lost venues, and like there's like TOs that are still figuring things out of how we transition, where we can go, how we can go, what could be hosted there, and all these things. Whereas like other parts of the country, people are moving and grooving, man. I mean, like that was one of the when Vegas, because Vegas has hosted a couple of BBTAG things and some Strive things as well. But I remember notably the team tournament that they hosted. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. Did you guys catch the it was the Bloodsport like team tournament that they hosted maybe like a month back or so?
I think I saw it. That was the one where we were cheering on Jeff, right?
Yes, that was Jeff Unleashed. Jeff Boyardee. Shout out to Jeff Boyardee.
That was Chin Jeff, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I caught it. I don't think I was aware of it.
It's
Or
all
just maybe
good.
I was busy during the time. I don't know.
No, So like that in itself is kind of like the beauty of it, right? Because like it wasn't something that was like heavily advertised or anything. Like it was just their local. Like literally, it was just their local. But like it had like around like, if I'm not mistaken, like upwards like 90 viewers. Like it had like mad people because it's like, yo, BBTAG offline, and it's just like people from all over the country. It's like this is our scene. Yeah. Just like we're just like together, we know each other, and we're just like, you know, cheering people on, and like it is mad hype. So when people are able to like, you know, chop it up offline and get those games, then I think it's gonna be like a really sick thing. Kind of leading off of that, you know, with this pandemic and through COVID times, and like playing a lot more BBTAG and like isolation, but also through like the means of net play, and maybe just playing a lot more BBTAG in general with just like more inside nature, not being outside, not traveling to tournaments. Through grinding the game over this past year of net play, for either of you, do you feel like you've learned anything about yourself or like about your play, or like anything has evolved specifically with your play through like this past year of playing?
For my play, I think mainly I just realized I don't like it when I I don't like having the other person play. Like I try and suffocate them in pressure.
Now you're playing BBTAG.
Now I'm playing BBTAG. And it's like it's transferred so hard over like Guilty Gear, where I'm like, no other character feels comfortable like Leo does, where I'm just like, I can keep you in block stun, or I can keep you in like a mixed situation. Like I just like being super aggro, and rather than going for like, you know, optimal situations, I'm like, no, yeah, I'm gonna make you suffer. You gonna watch, dude.
You're welcome.
Block.
You're welcome. The worst day of my life was the day that I told Scrub to play Leo. if I have to make a top 10 list of biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life, maybe one was trying Yumi Yukiko for 2 months. And then, like, number 2 is suggesting that Scrub play freaking Leo. But it completely fits your style. Like, that answer completely makes sense. I mean, just given the way that you kind of approach matches, you're really good at doing that in multiple contexts of like making sure the opponent can't play. Like the way that you construct your pressure, you get really good reads on like people's defensive habits of how they're trying to get out of pressure if they're push blocking, like up backing, things like that, and like the way you set up your sandwiches. But even like when situations seem like they're about to reset to neutral, you have like this knack for knowing the literal first thing your opponent is going to do in quote unquote neutral, and just immediately putting back, like immediately checking them and putting them back into the mix. I'm just like, that is nuts, man. Like, it's something. Lon, is there anything that you've kind of like, because like if I have to share from like my point of view, right, of like the past this past year, is like throughout BBTAG's life cycle, I've been pretty condensed in my character picks. So like when I started playing the game, it was just Yang Batista, and I played Yang Batista for a year and a half, so pretty much from game launch until Evo 2019, and that's when I picked up Mitsuru Batista. And that was like the only team and characters I played. Like if I'm going to a tournament, if I'm playing like casuals, 85% of the time I'm just picking my main team, and then like in that other 15 I may like mess around with some other stuff, but it was always just like picking my main stuff and then just like figuring out from there. But like throughout this past year, like I think I can't remember if I actually made the tweet. It might have been something that was in my drafts, but like I picked up more BBTAG characters in like 4 months of quarantine than I did in BBTAG's entire lifespan. Like, and I just
I'm kind of the same. Like, what is it? I only had 2 teams before COVID, and it was my literal day one team of Ruby Weiss, and then a team that I picked up 1 month before Anime Ascension, Ragnar Ruby, and then you know, I just kind of got comfortable with the game. I learned like all the how the game functions and whatnot, and everything in it. I probably can't explain how things work. I just know how things work. Right. But it's like, you know, once I like kind of figured everything out, I was like, yeah, I think I can play more characters.
Yeah, no, it's something. Because like Lon, I know that you have Oreo and Kiko, but you also have like a bunch of. I mean, we know about Ron Rose, like some other characters that you branched out to as far as like Neo and everything. Were those like picks that you branched out to over like the past year or so, or have you just like always had those in the tuck?
In terms of my alternative teams, yeah, most of my alternative teams kind of come in like throughout like the entire year. Of course, you know me for the Ori Yukiko, which is actually not a team that I've played since day one, but yeah, I guess I can actually get onto that. Like, I guess since we're talking about side teams, and I do have basically a ton of side teams that I like, I can actually go on maybe my team history if that's okay.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, so when I first ever started playing the game, I was with my brother. Like, literal first time playing my game, I was actually an Orly Linne player. Basically, just picked the two characters that I thought looked the coolest, and my brother was also playing Linne, so it was just like, yo, Ori, cute girl with a sword. That's my vibe right there. Like, you know, I definitely was.
I give you a fist bump if we were in real life right now.
Yeah, because you know, I knew nothing about any of the characters, so I literally just picked cute girl with sword because that was kind of my vibe. I like sword characters, and you know, I like girls, so you know, pick that. When I actually got the game myself, I felt like Linne wasn't exactly my playstyle, so also being and between that span of me playing with my brother and you know, actually picking up the game, I got into Persona, so I decided to pick Ori Yu because sword. I also, you know, I like sword characters. I like Narukami too, just as a character. Didn't want to pick Yukiko for the very specific reason of she sucked. I heard so many things before getting into the game that she was horrible, and despite her, like, you know, being my waifu, I was just like, I didn't want to have to deal with that because I just at the time I didn't think I liked difficult characters, and I guess I can go on to that a little bit later. But yeah, so I played that for 3 months. I hate that team so much. I hate playing that team. So yeah, 3 months after playing the game, I was really close to dropping it, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna screw it. Play my waifu, and she ended up being really fun. I love her. She's one of my. She or Orie is one of my favorite characters in the game. It's hard to pick which exactly, but like, yeah. So I mained Ori Yukiko. You know, I exclusively played that team for God knows how long. And somewhere along the way, I was just like, you know, I still like playing Narukami, and like, you know, I watched some gameplay footage and I saw Yumi and was like, yo, this character is stupid. I'm a player. Also, like, I never knew anything about Senran Kagura either, so I was just playing her because she looks stupid. And you know, I like Yumi, and like that ended up being kind of a side team I brought out because you know, Ori Yukiko, both characters not very stable. Team's really good, but you know, it's you know, it's Ori Yukiko, not gonna do much. So Yumi kind of became the side teams, and for a long time, I was pretty happy with Ori Yukiko, and then like I was like, you know, I like playing Ori. So I've tried to pick up some other side teams. I think the first side team I've tried to pick up was Neo. So that's kind of where I got Ori Neo from.
Yeah, I remember that.
Kind of decided like just occasionally play it sometimes. Next team was like Weiss Ori. Well, actually no, I tried Izio Ori. I don't like Izio that much, and then it was Weiss Ori, and then what other Ori teams did I try to play? Yeah, I think those are the main two that I like attempted to pick up, and I still kind of play those teams. And more recently, I've tried to play Ori Batista, and I actually love that team. And I also just love playing Batista.
Oh man, Tomoe.
Yeah, Batista's a cool character, by the way. I love playing her.
Yes.
And then, what other teams I played? Like Celica Noel is a team that was just like. I wanted to find another Celica team because Celica Yukiko wasn't my vibe, and it was just like, why not play her with a Noelle? And it turns out that team was my vibe.
There you go.
Just a weird case of just I like that team. Tried to pick up Heart at one point. I still play Heart a lot, and
yeah. You contractually had to like throw that in, by the way. Like yeah. I know that slip up. In the back of your head, Connor G was in your subconscious.
not in the contract with my home and cancel homies contract. I love playing hard, and if I could find the perfect partner for her, I would play her more. But
It's in his contract to say that.
yeah, you know what? Don't expose me like that. But I tried playing hard Akatsuki. I'm not an Akatsuki player. I tried playing hard Shiragon, and I like that team a lot, but it's not like I don't vibe with it super much, you know. So I love Heart, but I can't play that much. And like I said, I've been recently playing Batista a lot, and I think out of the main pool of characters I would kind of want to commit with, Batista might also like be in there. I like playing that character. So yeah, I guess that's. Oh yeah, I also play Ruby Hyde because I was just like BZ's team looks fun, so I'll play BZ's team. It turns out I had a lot of fun with BZ's teams, and that's the only times I've ever played Ruby and Hyde. Only that team really. I also tried playing Ragna just for the SoCal, you know.
I mean, par for the course. I mean, like everybody has a pocket Ragna in the SoCal BBTAG Discord. So if you don't main him,
yeah, like you know, he's not. I find him fun, but he's not also my vibe. So like, yeah, I think that's kind of a brief history of kind of like all my teams. Oreo Yukiko definitely my second team ever that I've ever tried to commit to. Then I really struck gold with it. I mean, it just ended up being the tech. Just play your waifus together, man. That ended up being the tech.
Dude, like, so there is this interview with Lord Knight. Okay. I can't recall the specific interview. I want to say it was an interview that he had with Born Free. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with who that content creator is. He's like kind of from back in the day.
I don't think I know. I know Lord Knight, but not Born Free.
Yeah, Born Free was like a guy that was he kind of broke through with like some innovative stuff that I think should come back to where he was doing. He would go to tournaments and he would like interview players on site to just have them like dedicate like a hour block out and then just like do a player profile of them. And just do an interview with them. One of the more notable ones for somebody that, I mean, you guys are familiar with within the scene, he did one with Jonah, which was really ironic because he used Jonah to be a translator for an interview with, I don't think it was Bon-chan. He used Jonah to be a translator for an interview with someone else. And then, like, he just realized that, like, wait, that's Jonah. He's, like, one of the best BBTAG players in North America. I just interview him. So, like, look up a Born Free interview with Jonah. It exists. But basically, he did one with Lord Knight. And Lord Knight had this quote in that interview of, like, because basically Born Free was asking him, like, how do you pick your characters? And Lord Knight was saying that he follows a strict criteria of he only chooses characters that he would either hug or protect. Only characters that he would hug or protect. And when I first heard that in the interview, those words have stuck with me for years. This interview probably happened like 6 years ago, right? But like, I just never forgot that because no one has ever put it into words how I play characters until I heard that quote. I was like, yo, he's spitting. Like, it's so true. So like, truly, Lon, when you're coming from the perspective of like just play your waifu, sometimes it's like simple. Like it could be that simple and the way to go. It could also be dangerous because stuff happens with like the patch culture of nowadays and like things changing and DLCs and tugging at the heartstrings and everything. I went through dropping Yang was bad. Like I was happy to find Mitsuru Batista is like my favorite team, but dropping Yang, I definitely had some like depression for about like maybe 48 hours. Because I picked, you guys will learn this in episode 0, but I picked up BBTAG to play Yang. Like I actually picked up the game to play Yang because Yang was like my second favorite Ruby character. Not my favorite, but like my second favorite. And like Ruby being in a fighting game, like it was nuts. So I completely get where you're coming from, Lon.
Yeah, the one thing I've definitely learned from playing BBTAG over the years is that legitimately for me the most important character choice is just play your waifus, man. That's what makes me happy. And thankfully I've come to realize that, and now for every fighting game that I'll ever pick up for the history of time, I know the exact thing that I'm looking for in a character. Are they cute? And I will go from there, and I will somehow end up finding a way to like their playstyle. I mean, that was kind of how I was with Yukiko. It was just like, you know, I'm not really a zoner player, you know, and just I was kind of iffy about playing her as well as her being like quote unquote bad. It ended up making me realize I actually like playing zoners, And it was thanks to Yukiko and me just being like, I'll just play my waifu. Like I'll find a way to enjoy her. I just want to play her.
There you go, dude. I mean, like my strive. So like I was actually going to make a YouTube video about this, but since we just kind of stumbled onto the topic, I guess I'll just disclose it here of like why I play Mei. Because like Mei on the surface like is very anti me of like how the character plays. Like it actually doesn't really fit my core characteristics of what I look for in a character at all. Like if we're talking like playstyle wise, I really like mid-range characters, opportunities to zone, can go on the oppressive if like the momentum gets going and have like some type of mix going on there, but like I play very slow, especially like in BBTAG. It can be hard to do that unless you're just like really good at that like type of play style of like keeping people out, and there are players that are definitely good at that. I think Razorburn is like insanely good at that. Cake is also a player who's like really good at that. I'm not. So like I kind of have to pick my battles when it comes to like playing that neutral game or going in, or else I just kind of leave myself to get opened up. But in 1v1 games, I'm boring as hell, bro. So like Mei is like, she has aspects of that because she does have good buttons, but the core of the character is like you do kind of have to get in, and like you have like dolphins and like command throws and all this stuff. Like she wants to play close. Like you if you're full screen, it's like actually not good. But like the whole reason why I play the character, and mind you, I've been playing the character since the closed beta test. Like I was set on playing the character from the moment she got announced. It was just like that trailer had such a lasting impression on me. Her redesign, I was like, yo, I love this character. She looks amazing. It was just like, I just liked the redesign so much. I was already like emotionally attached to the character. It also like didn't help with like, it didn't help with the base roster not having other characters that I do like, because I'm a big fan of like Dizzy. If Elfo was in the game, I would like maybe like go Elfo. And Soul was actually my main from Rev 2, but Soul plays completely different in Strive. Whether or not I'm making a mistake of just getting over it and playing Soul in Strive, I'll leave that to your guys' imaginations and the listeners' imaginations of if I'm messing up by not playing Soul. But no, that's literally the reason why I chose Mei. I was like, this follows the LK like LK's ideology. I want to protect Mei. I want to protect the Dolphins. I want to protect SeaWorld, all right? Like, but yeah, I guess, I mean, I didn't plan this. I mean, I kind of planned this out, but I didn't plan this out. But I guess this is kind of a perfect transition to get to something that I have written down here. Have you seen this man? Have you seen this man? Dickinson? Gold Dick. Goldlewis Dickinson over here. Funny enough, dude. So like from Condescendum, we actually watched this trailer live together, the three of us, because it dropped on the same day that we had Condescendum. But so Scrub, I know that you're playing Strive a lot. I know that you like have Strive, or like you're kind of going back and forth with Strive, kind of lukewarm on Strive. But we all experienced the trailer together. What were your guys' initial impressions to like Goldlewis with the trailer? And if you want to add, like, since he's out now, if you've tried him or not, but like just what are your thoughts about Gold Dick?
Man, so I think he's a cool character. I think his whole idea of having 8 different variations of one special move is like, it's super unique. It's really cool to see. Like I don't know any character that really does something like that, but like every variation has its own use. You can use one like in neutral, one for frame traps, side swaps, combo extenders, whatnot. And then I don't know, I tried him out. I don't think he's for me.
Right.
I'm not just saying that just because it's hard on hitbox. That's one reason. But yeah, he seems like a very, I don't know what the word is. Kind of like you have to place your buttons in the right area, and you kind of have to just like, I don't know, force options after like getting, one hit. He's very, I think he needs to be like a very snowball heavy character, but I don't see him being played that often. by a lot of people. Maybe the couple few, but like I don't see him being like game breaking, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of the initial vibe that I'm getting from people as well. Granted, it's like super hard to measure because
It's literally day one.
yeah, it is day one. He's a brand new character to franchise, not a returning character. And so like kind of ironing those things out can take time, you know. I think the greatest example of that would be Nagaryuki, right? Week 0 Nagaryuki. I think there was a lot of I don't even really want to call it downplay. I mostly just want to call it ignorance. And I'm guilty of it too. Of like people just like not really thinking too highly of the character. Like, how does this character even play? Like blood gauge, yada yada yada. But like we have seen multiple Nagaryukis at this point really kind of iron out that character. I mean, I think the joke in the beginning was like, this is Fame 96. Like when you see like Nagaryuki on the character select, it's literally just Fame 96 and nobody else. And like granted, Fame is like, you know, amazing Nagaryuki player, just amazing anime player as a whole. There's been like some other Nagaryukis that have been putting in some work. August, Test Your Luck, just name a few. Yeah, Hotashi, dude. Hotashi popped off the other day, dude. Oh my gosh.
What did he won Levo, right? What did he win?
He won Levo and NLBC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was Levo and NLBC.
Yeah, ironically enough, he had to fight Marn in grand finals of both events. Which I was surprised. Marn played Accent Core and I think Exerd, and I think he played Zato. I'm surprised to see him playing Giovanna, but apparently he's taken to the game if he's gotten second place in OBC and freaking Levo, which has like 1,000 people in it. So shout outs to Marn, I guess. But yeah, Lon, do you have any impressions of Goldlewis Dickinson here? Just like even if it's just aesthetically, because I know you're not too heavy on Strive, but like, what do you think of this guy?
Yeah, I definitely can't say anything about his gameplay because, frankly, I don't keep up with Strive enough to like understand the deeper inner workings. I kind of only just watch it just to cheer on friends, and the game looks pretty cool, but it's not definitely my vibe. But anyways, when I saw him, I was just like, is that a coffin with an alien in it? And I was like, in a process, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty sick. Like that was basically my thoughts about him because I don't know who he is. I know he's definitely a character from Strive Story Mode, which I don't really keep up with. And just based off his design, I think he just aesthetically, I think he looks cool, and I think he design wise is a very interesting character. But I can't really say anything too complicated except yeah, props to Arxis for shoving an alien in a coffin and making it a weapon. That's definitely a very unique design.
Yeah, it's unique. He definitely looks cool. So, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how he develops over time. It's early. Lon, do you have Strive?
No, I don't own Strive.
Got it. Are there, so like even though you don't have it, even if you never have it, are there any characters that you would just like to see in the game personally, like any returning characters, any guilty? Who are your Guilty Gear waifus? Let me just get to the point. Who are your Guilty Gear waifus?
Give me Dizzy, please.
Yo, that's another virtual pound that I got to give you right there.
I will spend $60 if Dizzy's in the game, and I don't even know if I'll play Strive or not. Just put her in, please.
That is that. Lon, I knew I made a good choice having you two on the pod, man. You guys are just like preaching some great rhetoric right now. Lon is just like, Scrub, what is it that you say? Please stop spitting in my food with all these facts. I don't want to misquote it.
Please stop spitting your facts in my food.
Gosh, right in front of my salad. Not that. But yeah,
I fucking love it when CJ says it. He's really right in front of my salad.
Oh yeah, freaking E30 does the perfect impression of that. Shout outs to E30. Oh man. Okay, well that's enough of Goldlewis Dickinson. Leading on from like new stuff that's happening, I want to hop over to something that I don't think I've talked to you two specifically about it, but I think it's also kind of set Twitter ablaze. And I think there's pretty implications around this game here. And I'm talking about Melty Blood type Lumina. And I mean, like, I guess like even before like going down some of the things that I want to discuss when it comes to this title, are you guys interested in this game? I mean, it's coming out kind of soon. It's coming out in like 2 months, but which is crazy in the development cycle of this game. But like, are you guys interested?
I'll try it out. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to try any game, honestly. I played a little bit of Melty Blood throughout the pandemic, and I really liked Satsuki. So I'm really hoping that I get some like full screen anti-air command grab shit going on again.
I feel it. I can see you liking Satsuki. Granted, I think I could see you liking Kishima as well. I guess just from the context of like Lumina and who's in. But
who's Kishima again?
It's this guy, the most recent announced character.
Oh, the grappler dude.
Yes.
Dude, he looks sick. I'm not gonna lie, he looks sick.
Yes, freaking. But yeah, no, I could definitely see you to being the Yumizuka player, just gonna freaking take her, throw us out of the air. I want her to be in, and I want her to retain her hitbox on that move so bad. Like and like when I say that, like I actually don't want that because I hate that character. But like for the culture, I need that in the game. Like I need her to just like take her, vacuum people out of the air.
It's funny too how I actually chose to play Satsuki in Melty Blood. I told Mass, I was like, whoever I told him, I was like, whoever has the best song in this game, I'm playing them. and I went through the whole OST and I was like, yeah, this is the one. She's the move. And he was like, oh, she's really good. And I was like, how good? And he shows me that anti-air box, right? And I'm like, oh my god.
That's a hard choice to make, Scrub. Melty Blood Actress Again current code OST is like goated.
Yeah. Like I was tied between a couple, but I was like, nah, dude, fucking her theme is just so funky.
True. I will.
And then her combos are hard as fuck, but she dunks on people, so it's cool.
Yeah, she definitely do be dunking on people, and it's definitely not a short of damage. she's something else. But yeah, Lon, are you interested in Melty Blood type Lumina just from what you've seen so far?
Oh yeah, I'm very interested in the game. It's one of those games where I'm like, finally, a fighting game that I look really interested in, and I'm like really hyped for it to come out in I think late September.
Yeah, I think
September 30th.
Yeah, it's like late September.
Yeah, like when I heard it got announced, I was like, yo, new Melty, and I was like, because I played Actress Again, and I really liked it. And to be fair, I played it for like an hour. Like the game left that much of an impression on me, where it was like I would be down for a new version of Melty Blood if it can give me the same level of like hype as the Melty Blood Actress Again. Even though I only played it for such a little amount of time, it made just that much of an impression on me. Just the way it played, it felt amazing. Even if I did play it for very little time. And yeah, so I'm very hyped for Type Lumina coming out.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad you said that because you're actually kind of jumping ahead on some notes that I had here when it comes to Melty coming out, like this new Melty, but also just like Actress Again current code, like that. How do I want to phrase this? So just Melty in general, right? I think it can have a lot of appeal to our scene. And when I say our scene, I mean like the BBTAG scene, in terms of like the 1v1 fighter that people would want to gravitate to. I think Strive has some aspects of it that like maybe somebody whose first game was BBTAG or like has spent the most amount of time within BBTAG or is like a BBTAG player. Strive is faster than Street Fighter, right? But it still does come down to like a very strike throw game. Although the game is explosive, just like the pacing of the neutral is definitely a bit more subdued, conservative. Like not as crazy. But I think I have a really good feeling about Melty and like how like I said, specifically our community, like the tag community kind of takes to this game. I think this could be like kind of like the premier thing that tag players look into if they're looking to pick up like a 1v1 fighter, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I mean, if you're listening and you've like maybe interested in Melty Blood type Lumina, but you're like on the fence or like something, you just don't know, like just try current code. Like try actress again current code. It's actually super easy. Join the Discord. Maybe I'll put a link to that in like the descriptions of everything. Like join the Discord and just like download. Well, join the Discord and just like play the game by some means. There's rollback, so you don't got to worry about that. There's all these different characters in the game. Don't get like too tied up of like who's gonna be a type Lumina and who's not gonna be. Just like try the game, because like I feel like once you get a feel for it and just like just hit some buttons and just like learn some things, that game and how it holds up mechanically and just the way the game feels is truly impressive. Because Actors Again Current Code is a pretty old game. Like I don't know, just moving around in it just like feels really good. So yeah, I'm on the same field as you guys. When this game was announced that they were going to be doing just a modern Melty, I was super hyped because I actually got on Melty pretty heavy a few months ago. My biggest problem with Melty has been like finding a character, and this is from the concept like Actress Again Current Code. I couldn't just really find a character that I liked for real until I tried Full Moon Arc, and like Full Moon Arc is the Crackin Atkins character, because like she's literally just mid-range. Like the character, she like has some combos, she gets like some damage, she like can kind of rush down, but like she's just like a mid-range monster, and I'm just like, this is amazing, and I like fell in love with the character. But like the interesting thing about Actress Again Current Code is like, yeah, there may be like 30 characters on the character select screen, but there's actually like 90 characters in the game because of the moon system.
Yeah.
So like each character has 3 different variations and everything. So Full Moon Arc plays nothing like Crescent Moon Arc or Half Moon Arc at all. So when this game was announced and I like see Arc, but they like hadn't done the character trailer yet, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think she's gonna play like Full Moon Arc, because Full Moon Arc was kind of like the off pick. Like Crescent Moon and Half Moon Arc are like very, very good characters, and way more prominent. Like Full Moon Arc is kind of like a niche off pick. Good, like a good character, but like not really, you know, when you think of Arc, you're not thinking of Full Moon Arc, right? And that's definitely translated to Lumina. Like I'm seeing Lumina and the way she's playing, I'm just like, I don't know who I'm gonna play. But I am very excited for the game, and like I said, I think BBTAG players will kind of take to the game as well. I don't know. Do you guys get that sentiment as well? That like this would be like a good transitional game maybe for BBTAG players to get into like a 1v1 fighter?
I mean, I can see it. Yeah, I think the speed's gonna be a lot slower. BBTAG players are used to like, you know, crackhead speed kind of stuff.
Right.
But I definitely think that I don't know how to put it, but we're very willing to play whatever. If that's probably not the best way to put it, or any way to put it. But I feel like, you know, BBTAG players are kind of like, they're playing a lot. Like we have, you know, people playing Strive, we have people playing crap, what's it called?
Granblue?
Yeah, Granblue. There you go.
Oh, don't tell me you forgot the name of Granblue.
I'm sorry.
This is nearly as bad as TSB not having the updated copy of Granblue or the offline tournament.
Yeah, so you know, we have people playing Granblue. I think so long as it's an anime fighter, BBTAG players are gonna try it out. And we're always gonna have that handful that's gonna like dominate it. Like, you know, consistently we have Tempest doing it. There's Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are gonna be willing to play it.
Yeah, it's the rollout of this game is definitely going to be interesting. And I mean, leading off from that, I mean, just mentioning the rollout of this game, the advertisement and just the promotion and rollout from French Bread has been fantastic. I mean, like it just like every week, or like even just like within weeks, they are just dropping these bomb trailers, just like showing people how to play the game, and like just showing like these characters off, and they all look amazing, and just like the freeze frames of when they activate the moon cancel, and like the person that activates it are just like, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass, and like the person that like didn't get it activated is like terrified. Like the polish and presentation of the game is just like, that alone has me sold. But then like you drop the characters, and then you also told me that it has rollback netcode, and you also told me that it's coming out in 2 months, and I'm just like, I can't find anything that I'm gonna dislike about this game so far. Like,
yeah. I'm honestly really liking the way like, what is it? Like you were saying, they're like tutorialing throughout their trailers.
Right.
Dude, the gameplay. Oh my god, it looks so sick. Like the Arc trailer, where they just parry like 30 things, and then they go into like a super or something. I'm like, dude, holy shit, this game is gonna be sick. Like,
Yeah, they know what they're doing with the choreography of these trailers, because like they aren't doing just like, they are doing the trailers to like show off what the character does generally, but they're also doing the trailers just kind of pop off of like how the game looks. Because like Shiki's trailer was like nuts, bro. He's like reverse beating and then like backdash and calls out the freaking Kohaku's burst, and he like punches. Like who's gonna watch that Shiki trailer, that interaction on the burst punish, and not say it's like the sickest thing in the world? Like
I'm not gonna lie. So I was at work when the Shiki trailer dropped, and I was at lunch, and I saw the burst bait, and the inner fucking like stream monster in me went like, "Oh shit!" I said that shit out loud, and my coworker was like, "Yo, are you good?" And I was like, "No, bro, someone got fucked."
Damn.
Freaking Melty Blood. Yeah, but like I think the last thing I want to touch on with Melty Blood is like, did either of you play Plus R before Strive came out? Because Plus R got that rollback patch on Steam. Did any of you try it out?
I tried it out for like a week, and then I was just like, I don't know if Plus R is for me. I'll play it every now and then, but I don't think I'll just like dive into it. That game's hard, dude.
Yeah, that game is definitely hard. It's an old game, man. And I mean, the old game has old stuff. And some of that old stuff, it ain't gonna hold your hand. You know what I'm talking about? So like,
oh, yeah, I'm baby, dude.
yes. Lon, did you get a chance to try out Plus R when it got that rollback patch?
Yeah, I actually played for like maybe an hour in training mode, and I was like, Dizzy's in this game. She feels a lot different from XR, so I was kind of a bit put off because my even though I haven't played XR in years, my muscle memory was getting screwed up, and I was like, my brain no gonna work this. Like it was kind of hard to try to get into XR, trying to unmuscle my muscle memory from or plus accent core from XR, because my muscle memory was so screwed up from XR.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, because Dizzy and Plus R and Xrd are like completely different. Like the button binds of like how you do stuff, and like the tool kit that she has is like night and day between like Xrd and Plus R. She has options in both that she just straight up doesn't have in the other. It's a very jarring experience.
Yeah, I was a bit put off because I was just like, man, this is not the Dizzy I know. I'm too small brain for this.
No, I completely feel where you're coming from. But like, actually, the reason that I mentioned Plus R is like kind of some hopes I have for Melty. I don't know what French Bread's rest of the time frame of how they're gonna roll out this game is, you know, because they have 2 months now. The game's coming out pretty soon. Like apparently, and just given what we've seen so far, they definitely have a trajectory of how they're rolling this game out and scheduled like trailers and everything, and it's been phenomenal thus far. I can only wait to see what else we're gonna have rolled out over these next few months and everything. But Plus R and that rollback patch and the way that came out was really something worth paying attention to, because that really put that game like on the map. Like Plus R, and to this day, even with Strive out, has like cultivated a huge scene. Like and we've definitely seen it from our standpoint of like Wednesday night fights online, right? Because we were there week by week, and like when Plus R was first like kind of rolling out, and I mean this was before Strive came out, they were getting like 90, like 100, like really big numbers. And I mean like there's that spooky tournament that came out, and there's like thousands of people in that Plus R tournament, like something insane. And I think there's multiple things that have played to Strive's success, but I feel like that initial kind of run of Plus R and getting people familiar with like the Guilty Gear franchise, or like, or maybe people are already familiar with the Guilty Gear franchise, but maybe giving them more insight to want to maybe like dive deeper or just like play Gear in a different context, it just isn't Xrd. And Arcs is proving that like they have functional rollback netcode. I think that gave people a lot of faith. I think that gave people a lot of faith in Strive subconsciously from when Strive came out, of just like, oh, okay, this might be like, you know, like experience with Plus R but modernized, and I know they could do rollback, so like whatever. And like Strive has blown up. Strive has like hit what was it, just 500,000 copies recently or something like that? Just something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It was a big number that I probably can't count to. So.
Don't worry, yeah, I'm guesstimating too. Stripe has sold mad copies. And so like I this is a pipe dream, but I would love if Melty could get the same treatment, right? If Actress Again current code, if like French Bread was just like, yo, we are dropping that game on, or the Steam game is getting an update, it has rollback netcode now, and then like, you know, the same thing that happened with Plus R happened to Melty just like a month before it came out, and then like Type Lumina just drops in September and it's like perfect. Like that could be really cool. But you know, it's a pipe dream, but that's just my wish. But yeah, we so funny enough, we were kind of making like perfect pacing of like how I wanted this to shape up with like topics and everything. One of the last things that I wanted to cover, this is like a really just kind of casual question. I mean, we've talked about BBTAG, we've talked about Strive, we've talked about Melty Blood, but for both of you, are there any other games that you guys are playing currently? And I don't just mean fighting games. Like if there are any other fighting games, so please share, but are there like non-fighting games that you guys are playing currently? Like what are you guys playing nowadays?
Mainly it's fighting games, but I'll play like Apex Legends or Knockout City with a couple friends.
Mhm.
I have not dove into the Pokemon Unite rabbit hole, so
We'll get to that.
and I know you're gonna dive into that.
We'll get to that. We're not talking about me yet, but yeah. Who do you play in Apex?
In Apex,
Dude, you hold on. Can I guess who you play in Apex? I have an idea.
yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. I need to find his name. What's this freaking? Hold on. I'm gonna find this dude. I'm gonna find this Apex Legends characters.
You look at the roster,
Dude, because like I have a guess of who I think that you play. I just want to. I'm gonna pull them up. Okay, here's the list of characters. No, not them. Where? There he is. This is Scrub's character. I know for sure this is Scrub's character. All right, I'm gonna show it. You let me know if I'm right or wrong. Is it Mirage?
it is not Mirage.
Oh my! All right, who is it? Who is your character in Apex Legends?
It's a mix between Lifeline, Revenant, Bloodhound, and Gibby.
Holy crap! So I played Apex a bit when it like first dropped, but there's a lot more characters in the game now. Who are all these people?
There are a lot of people in this game. We're getting one new character like soon.
Oh yeah, they're dropping the no such thing as coincidence guy.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay, some Apex Legends. Look, I'm kind of bad at FPSs. Which is it's so funny. I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. One of my favorite FPSs is Rainbow Six Siege. Are you guys familiar with Rainbow Six Siege?
I fucking suck at Rainbow Six.
Look, I'm not great at Rainbow Six Siege, but like that is my FPS. And the reason why is because I suck at FPSs. I can't point and click. I can't shoot. I'm really bad at FPSs. So Rainbow Six Siege rewards me for being tactical and knowing the map and planning, and I'm good at that. So like I love Rainbow Six Siege because I don't have to be really good at pointing and shooting. I just have to be really good at holding points, knowing how the map works, and like I play Capcom on defense, who is like the guy that sets up traps on doors and everything. Like I'm really good at playing around that game and knowing where people could be coming from and winning duels like that. And like I love that game. But like generally speaking, I'm not very good at FPSs. But yeah, toss it over to you, Lon. Are there any other games that you play? And answer wisely, because if you don't answer wisely, I'm gonna expose you.
Oh no. I don't know what that means, but
no, just no pressure.
In terms of the games I play frequently, mostly just Dead by Daylight, I guess. It's I don't play it as much as I did a couple months ago, but I play it a lot with one of my friends, and you know, it's an experience. I don't know if a positive or a negative adjective can be used to describe my experience with this game, but I have fun with it most of the time. And yeah, well, I guess I also play some Overwatch too, but that's also
there we go.
Yeah, I play some Overwatch here here and there. Not as much as I used to. Definitely back when it came out in like 5 years ago. Jesus, it's been such a long time. I
Yeah.
played that with a friend. I used to take it semi-seriously, but then I stopped because that game became kind of whack competitively. But
Oh
yeah, I
boy.
played
Hella
that from
whack.
time to what?
It became super whack, dude.
Dude,
Oh
that
yeah.
game's lifespan has been something else. The freaking
Yeah.
patches and the competitive, the esports scene of that game is that's a whole other topic. But yeah,
Yeah, so I play that occasionally, not as much as I used to. And besides that, those are only like there were two real concurrent games that I even really look at nowadays. Is mostly just Dead by Daylight and Overwatch. Not even to like that big of a degree because I definitely don't take those games very seriously anymore. Mostly just casual things. That's kind of the part of the reason I'm also very interested in getting type Lumina because I also want another thing to like really sink my teeth into, like not even necessarily competitively, just like be really interested in it and get to really know it because Dead by Daylight and Overwatch definitely are no longer those games for me. Just off the gameplay themselves don't really like lend themselves well to being super competitive and like type Lumina I feel like it can be that. So yeah, gonna be hyped for that as well.
no, I completely feel you there of having or wanting something to be able to just like sink your teeth into, you know. I definitely had periods earlier in this year where tag I'm always going to be within the tag scene until there's no more tag scene. I'm just like emotionally attached to that game. But I was getting really frustrated just like playing. Basically this quarantine has gone on way too long. Like, I'm like really frustrated with playing that game online. And I started like looking for something else, and I ended up falling in love with Power Rangers, especially when Chun-Li came out. So I played like a lot of Battle for the Grid. In fact, I think I can safely say if Strive had not came out at the time that it did, I probably would have made the full switch to just being a full-time Power Rangers player by now. Because I really enjoyed Chun-Li, and like that was my biggest problem with that game is like I played Jason Lee Scott and Gia. I don't know how I almost forgot her name. She's like one of my favorite fighting game characters ever. But like I played those two, but I couldn't find a third. And then when Chun-Li came out, I was like, yo, she's the glue. This is perfect. Like I love this game now. But Strive has come out and I've had that to sink my teeth into. I haven't played much Battle for the Grid as of late anymore. But yeah, hopefully Type Lumina can be that game for you to just kind of like you said, sink your teeth into. I guess personally, oh no, I you're not off the hook, Lon. Because I wanted to ask you about Overwatch specifically because I saw you hop on it the other day, and I wanted to ask who your Overwatch main is, or who are like your favorite Overwatch characters, or let me just cut to the chase, Lon. Who are your Overwatch waifus?
I love Diva. I am a
Two.
yeah. Oh, sick.
Yo,
Dude,
let's go.
I have played Diva literally since day one when she was garbage.
Oh my god,
She was garbage on day one.
No, I'm not
But
that committed. I didn't play Diva when she was bad.
Oh no, I played her launch day. She was horrible, like one of the worst characters in the game because I watched like an hour of footage and I was like, this is my character. This is the character I want to play. I really want to commit to. And you know what? 5 years later, I still love that character. I definitely have picked up more characters over the time, but like no one's really hit the same level of like that spark that I had with Diva. That character is so fun to play. Even though she is miserable with some team comps. Like
Mhm.
she sucks with some team comps and like definitely especially in the early games featured when it didn't have role queue and you were basically forced to play solo Diva, which is the worst tank in the game. I will commit by that. Solo Diva is the worst tank in the game. She
Right.
sucks. But besides Diva, I love Reinhardt too. Definitely at heart, I am a tank player.
Okay.
I absolutely love that role. And Reinhardt is a very fun character. I mean, he's a big German man with a hammer. You swing the hammer around, it feels super satisfying. But besides like just having that brain off gameplay too, he's a surprisingly deep and interesting character as well, which I think also really appeals to me. So I'm also very much a Reinhardt player. And I guess for the third character that I really hate I admit playing, I love playing Mei. I am I am a Mei main through and through. If there was a character that got as anywhere close as to the level of love I playing Diva, it's Mei. And I know for a lot of people that would make me want to, or they would want to crucify me on a cross for that, but go right ahead. That character's mad annoying. And, but I just love playing her for whatever reason. She's just really fun. I love her her wall, which is basically like the only form of kind of map manipulation in the game.
Right.
And it brings so much like interesting plays that you can do that no other character really can. That really can replicate like that. There's no other ability like wall in the game, and I think I just really clicked my spark as like with kind of like the same way as Diva when I picked up Mei. It was really like yo, wall is sick, even though like freeze is like not fun to play against. That wall, man, it's so good.
It's true. It's a trapping tool. It's also an elevation tool. You can give people movement options they would normally have to get them to play. It is cool.
Yeah, and like
my favorite way of using it is accidentally killing my teammates with it.
Oh, dude,
it is quite troll.
If I had $5 for every time I hoed my teammate, man, I would be a millionaire. That's just the life of being a Mei player, though. You do a lot of stuff for your team, but you also can sandbag your team pretty hard, and I mean that's just part of playing her. But yeah, those are the three characters that I really like. I really like in Overwatch, and yeah.
All right, that's what I wanted to know, because I saw you hop on Overwatch the other day, and I was like, oh, yo, I gotta know what Lon's like top threes are to see like if we have any like overlap with the characters we like. My characters in Overwatch kind of vary a bit because I hopped around a lot as the game developed. You know, I when I picked up the game, well, when I actually picked up the game was like when it first came out, because my internal friend group was actually really heavy on it. I did not have a PC made for gaming at that time. I had a Dell laptop, so needless to say, I couldn't run Overwatch very well. So I played Mercy. I played a lot of Mercy, but I actually like Mercy, and I liked Mercy at that time. I like Mercy to this day. Like Mercy's cool. But when I actually got like a PC and like was actually like able to play the game, Mei. Like I wanted to play Mei. So that ended up being the character that I stuck with the most. And then like I haven't played. I don't think I've played the game all year. Like in 2021, I've turned it on a few times last year. I have a couple of friends that are pretty heavy on it, but like my rotation of characters nowadays is basically between three characters that I like the most, and that one of them is Moira. I really like Moira. Moira is very simple, pretty to the point, and feels very rewarding to play. Like I'm contributing in terms of like healing teammates and like calling people out and like trapping people with the negative orb. Like she's just like, she's really fun, and I love her shift. It makes me feel like it's a Flash from League of Legends, and I just equate like Moira with Overwatch really well. Like it's just something that kind of really makes sense to me. It reminds me of playing Sona from League of Legends, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you guys have any like League knowledge or background or anything.
Nah.
Granted, I don't want to talk about League on this podcast, so actually that's not. But Moira is like a character that I like a lot. Diva. Diva's up there. I mean, Diva is like technically my favorite character to just like auto lock into, because like Diva I'm super comfortable on. I have a lot of hours on it. I just love the character. But like my actual favorite character to play when I'm feeling myself and like I want to pop off and I think is super cool is freaking Zarya. Zarya, I like, my brain is tiny, and like when I play Zarya, I'm either gonna like pop off or do really bad, and like 80% of the time I'm gonna do really bad, but that 20% of the time when I'm popping off, it is so freaking fun, bro. I love Zarya.
when you get to that 100%, you're just like full power blasting people. You're like, I feel like God. Like,
dude, it's so reward. Like it's just like the stimuli and like the neurons that fire off in my brain from like having 100 energy and then getting the 5-man grab. It's just like it's impeccable. It's amazing. I love it. Like, so those are the characters that I like. Scrub, do you have any Overwatch interests? Who's your top 3 favorite Overwatch characters?
My top 3 favorite Overwatch characters. All right, so it had to be Genji when he was good, when he had the triple jump, the fucking slingshot shit. I was that Genji main that was on Hanamura and would always slingshot to the backside.
Oh my god.
And then it would be McCree and Ana. I actually really liked Ana. Like when I got when I got a PC and I was trying out Overwatch, I only played Ana.
Yeah, Ana is super dope. Like I like Ana as well. Like as I mentioned, I can't play FPSs, so like granted I didn't get a lot of playtime on Ana because you do like more or less kind of have to aim with Ana, but her kit is really dope. And I think Ana provided like a support pick. It was the support pick for DPS people. Like it was just like if you like being the DPS person or just like making big plays or like you're good at aiming or whatever, like Ana was a pretty good pick for you because you did have the sniper capabilities, but like you could also like be a really good asset to your team. And then her ult was
she was a very oppressive healer. Not like levels of Moira, but when I was who is the really good Ana player in the Overwatch League that played for the Dynasty?
I can't tell you. The only Overwatch League player I like is Sinatra because the Zarya is filthy.
I wouldn't be able to tell you either.
I really forget the name, but like getting flicks, doing full 180 flicks into like the sleep dart or saving a teammate with a grenade or actually cutting off someone's healing with it. or the absolute serotonin boost of catching someone with your nano boost and they wipe someone out and you're like, yeah, I did that shit.
Yup. You just like in the back of your mind, you're just like, you're welcome. Like
that was me.
I raised that boy. All right. Well, we're actually making amazing. Like I said, I couldn't have planned this more perfectly myself. We're making pretty good time. Like we're at like an hour and 15 minutes. So want to kind of start wrapping things up here with our two recurring segments. So the first recurring segment is Shill Yoself, right? So it's in the name. You're gonna show yourself, and we'll be going left to right with it. As far as like what we got on the screen. So I'm Crackin Atkins. You can find me on Twitter at Crackin Atkins. You can find me on Twitch at Crackin Atkins. You can find me on YouTube at Crackin Atkins. And you can find this podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube for now. If there's demand to put it on other platforms, let me know from whatever you're on. Like leave a comment or send me a message and say, please put the podcast here or please put the podcast there. And I'll consider it. But for now, these are like the main three platforms I'm looking to use. And yeah, that's where you can find me. Lonlily, do you have anything to share? Show yourself.
Yeah, well, as I said, I am the Lonathan Lily. That is my full legal name, by the way. According to Atkins.
It's true.
Yeah. You can find me over at Twitter at Lonlily2. Don't ask me where 1 and 0 went. I have no idea. You can find me over on my YouTube channel, which I think is pretty much just youtube.com/very long indescribable link. But my channel name is still Lonlily, so you can go hop over there. I upload mostly just BBTAG sets, also some like cool other BBTAG things, mostly centered around Yukiko, but maybe some other stuff in the future. I also have a twitch.tv/Lonlily. I don't really use it that often, but hey, if do you want to catch maybe the rare footage of the live Lonlily gameplay, maybe I'll be there sometimes. And those are my socials. I don't think I use anything else.
All good. It's something that I'll add in here. Just like at the time of us recording this pod, it'll be 2 weeks out when people listen to this, but on the day of recording, you just posted your fantastic Yukiko synergy guide, or synergy tier list, I should say, that I got to watch live. You gave a lot of great insight, and it definitely shows that you got some love for Yukiko and know your stuff. So I watched like I said, you carried me through my shift. Like I had it on in the background and just listening to you talk about like every cast member of BBTAG and the synergy with Yukiko for like 4 hours. And I was like, man, that was That was something. My shift is over. But that's on YouTube now, so be sure that you guys check that out on the rest of Lonlily's content and socials. Scrubbers, YoFavScrub, where can the people find you, my guy?
You can go ahead and find me on Twitter. It's just @FavScrub. Just take out the yo. My Twitch is actually still YoFavScrub. Some douche didn't take it this time, so. Funny enough, actually, the douche that took YoFavScrub on Twitter was me. I just forgot the password to it.
This guy.
Oh my god.
I took it like years ago, and I was like, "What's the password?"
That sucks. Pain.
It's too late. I can't go back, man. Man, that's really all I use. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was the first recurring segment of this podcast. We're going to get into the final recurring segment of this podcast, the inaugural. I mean, I did a mini version of this on episode 0, but this is truly the first captions, the first Atkins caption section of the podcast that I'm super excited about. I explained this a bit in episode 0, but I'll explain it again in episode 1 since this is the first time that we're doing this and just kind of give the full context of why this is a thing. So if you guys may or may not know, Twitter had a function within it called fleets, and I use that a lot. Like, fleets are basically stories. They were like temporary stories that you could post up, and just like they were like Instagram stories or Facebook stories or Snapchat stories, right? And I was really excited when fleets first dropped because I didn't use stories on those other platforms because I don't use those other platforms. Just like straight to the point. So like when Twitter came out with it, I was like, yo, this is cool. I want to use this. And so like, I posted a lot of fleets here and there. But it was announced on Twitter that fleets are no longer going to be a thing. That fleets are going to be ending service as of August. So a lot of foundation of why this podcast has come to be, among some other things, is to be a spiritual successor to my fleets. And so that is in the form of conversations that we're having now, me just being able to express myself and learn more about people and guests that I have on the podcast. But most importantly, the most prime feature of a Crackin Atkins fleet is always the Monday fleets. And that's because Monday fleets are Music Mondays. And what I would do is I would go on and recommend like 3 or 4 like album songs or artists of just personal quality to me that I just like really like. And just let people know about some new music or even old music, just like anything that I'm listening to or like have listened to or everything. And that was always like one of the most fulfilling parts of fleets, where I just really felt like I got to express myself. And I've gotten DMs from people saying like, yo, I listened to this and this got like, or like, oh yeah, like I've gotten some like music recommendations from there. So that's something I didn't want to let die. And so I've been back and forth on the podcast idea forever. And so when Fleets was announced as ending, I was like, now's the time. And so that leads us to the section that is aptly named Captions. The CAP is capitalized because it stands for Crackin Atkins Podcast. My branding is godlike. Don't at me. But like the way that this works is again, left to right, we're all gonna share a song, album, or artist that we want to add onto the Spotify playlist. The Spotify playlist has been rebranded. It's no longer at Crackin Atkins Fleets. You can find it under Atkins CAPtions. In fact, I should have been more prepared for this, but let me see if I can get a screen capture of the Spotify real quick to let you guys know what that looks like. There we go. Window capture. Let's oh, there it is right there. It looks like that. So Atkins CAPtions, be sure to check that out. So each of us will be recommending a song, artist, or album to put on there. Or, and this is the exciting part, we have also expanded to anime. So there is an official, oh crap, where's it at? There we go. There's an official Crackin Atkins Podcast Captions My Anime list to where you can recommend, like if you're a guest on the show, you can recommend an anime or manga that you want people to watch. You know, I know that I'm like a music nerd. So like I know that people may not always want to recommend music. So if you want to recommend an anime or manga, you have the option to do that as well. You can see from episode 0, I put in my picks just kind of kickstart the list. but yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and get into that segment right now. So as I said, we're gonna go left to right. I'll be going first. I have a song and an album that I'm gonna be putting on the captions playlist. The song literally just came today. It's from James Blake. It's his latest single called "Say What You Will." He has a new album coming out on September 10th, Friends That Break Your Heart. And James Blake is an artist that I've mentioned on the Fleets in the past. Assume From is an album that's already on the playlist. His self-titled album is not on the playlist, but I highly recommend that album as well. He's just like a super like eccentric and exciting producer that's doing a lot of like cool things and like kind of rock and pop music, and his production is always like super cool. He like goes through a lot of different genres. He's had like a lot of good collaborations with some very prominent artists as well, but his solo material is always the stuff that kind of grips me the most. It tends to be kind of on the experimental side of things, which is ironically not the case for this song. This song is like kind of experimental, but it's also just like very it's like a ballad, and James Blake has a very distinct voice. Like I could pick his voice out from a crowd very easily, but he's killing it on the vocals for this song. Like I listened to the song during work and I like almost started tearing up. I'm like, yo, like this song is crazy. So like if you're a fan of like the Bon Ivers of the world, or like kind of artists like that, James Blake's kind of right up that alley, and it's probably an artist that you're already familiar with. But definitely check out the latest single. I'm really hyped for the new album that's coming out on September 10th. That's Friends That Break Your Heart. And then, so that wasn't initially what I was going to put on this section, so I'm just kind of squeezing that in there. What I was actually going to put in this section is going to be Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs, their album Trouble. And Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs goes by TEED as an abbreviation, and for the rest of this caption I'm going to be referring to them as TEED, because I'm not going to struggle to say Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs this entire time. But yeah, TEED is a UK based, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like an electronic music producer. Their catalog and discography is very small, very mighty. Like they don't have a lot of songs out, and I think this is like their only like full-length project, but it's a classic. It's from like a couple of years ago. Very like groovy, dance heavy, like kind of a house music, electro, synth pop kind of vibe. If you're a fan of Disclosure, you might want to check out Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs. Also another artist that has a very distinct voice and vocal quality that I like quite a bit. He was featured on the latest Porter Robinson album, so if that interests you, maybe you want to check it out. But yeah, I'm gonna be adding James Blake Say What You Will and Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs Trouble to the Spotify playlist as my caption. And yeah, that'll close it off for me. Left to right nature, we're gonna be hopping over to Lonlily. Lon, what do you got for us today on the captions?
Well, I will say I do have an anime that I do want to recommend. So
Let's
we're
go.
not gonna be music. I'm not exactly super musically inclined, so I don't have a lot of music, and I kind of struggled on what. I was struggling between two choices between which anime I wanted to recommend. I think when you first brought this up, I was like, I'll just recommend the Monogatari series. Monogatari series, pretty dope. It's got a great story, interesting art style, animation, great characters, all that stuff. Maybe not for everybody, but I thought that was a bit too obvious. Everyone kind of knows about the Monogatari series. If it was like, if you've been in the anime realms, if you at least maybe saw a glimpses of it, or you probably also watched it too, since it's super popular. So I kind of had to dig a little bit deeper into something I want to find, and I remembered this anime that I watched back in 2018, late 2018 specifically, like in November, made by the same studio that did produce the Monogatari series Shaft, and it was the show called Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, which is a very interesting show, and I don't know how I can describe it properly because it's an experience to watch. Like I said, it's a very dark. It's a very dark, but very dark comedic show. It's a show very much focused on kind of social and somewhat political, like satire, as well as mixing in a lot of just dark humor. I'm sure you're reading that description and going like, yeah, this show might not be everyone, but it's such a like, experience to watch because it's so weird and wacky. If you've seen Monogatari at all, it definitely has that like Shaft feel to it when it comes to the animation style, and it's like kind of turned up a lot to kind of compensate for the dark nature of the show, and it's so interesting. It's been so long since I watched it, but it really sticks out into my mind whenever I think of like Shaft shows that people really don't know too much about, and I would like to recommend that you watch it if you can kind of stomach like very dark, very like politically satire humor. But I think if you are into that, it'll probably want to be one of the best animes you can watch out there because it's a to watch. There's three total seasons, I think, as well as 2 OVAs, so there's definitely a lot of content for you to absorb, and it's usually episodic format, so there's not at least there's not like a very obvious storyline. But yeah, if that sounds appealing to you, I highly recommend you watch it. It's a treat to watch.
Very cool, very cool. I'll definitely be adding that to the list. You putting the so your explanation right now is really funny, and I'm gonna leak a little bit of context here because I told Lonlily and Scrub ahead of time about this caption section, so they both came prepared. And Lon initially, like you said, he did tell me that he was going to recommend Monogatari, but on my episode 0, I kickstarted the My Anime list and I recommended 3 anime of my own, and like, for full disclosure, I kind of struggled because that meant that I couldn't choose Monogatari, but I also was at the same mindset of Lana. Of like, I don't even really want to choose it because it's just like, it's one of the more popular animes. It was like that, and like even Evangelion. Like I didn't really want to put that on the list. I'm just like, it's freaking Evangelion, man. It's like one of the most like notable animes ever. So like I'm actually really glad that you went for Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei instead, because that's one, an anime I've never heard of, and 2, it sounds pretty interesting. So thanks for sharing that, putting on the captions. My anime list that desperately needs to be filled out. So thanks for choosing an anime as well. And yeah, we're gonna be moving on to Scrubbers. YoFavScrub, what do you got for the Atkins CAPtions?
Damn, so I know you told me to come up with like one artist.
Yo, if you got 2, lay it on me.
I got 3.
Oh snap! Lay them all on me.
so definitely, I'm gonna start it off with one, and I told you about this one like about maybe a week and a half ago. The artist LUJ. I recently got into them, and they're they have like a very R&B kind of like style. Songs, 2 songs that I really could recommend are their top song Star Child and their third top song Golden. They just really have like a really nice R&B kind of like soul vibe to it. Easy to kind of like just jam out to.
What was the name again of the artist? Sorry.
LUJ is spelled ELUJAY.
There we go. I got them. Okay, so I should be able to do. There we go. LUJ.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really like the music. I listen to it usually on the drive home or just when I'm like trying to chill out.
All right. And so you said you had 2 others for me.
Yeah. The second artist, it's pretty much kind of the same thing, but I really like their funk aspect as opposed to like. Not as opposed. I really like all their music. Thundercat.
Let's go. All right.
Dude, Thundercat is, oh my god. So I remember a coworker like introducing them to me like years ago. They were like, "Yo, dude, you gotta like listen to this guy. His name's Thundercat." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Play me a couple songs." And I was like, "Dude, holy shit! The bass in this song is amazing." And he's like, "Yeah, he's actually the bass player." And I was like, "Oh, so he's like alone, it's not a band." And he's like, no, it's one guy. And I was like, "Dude, holy shit, this guy's like awesome." Honestly, I can't even recommend one song for Thundercat. Listen to them all. They're so good. He's also got a couple nice like joke songs in there, like Dragon Ball Durag.
Yes.
which was on an album that recently won a Grammy. So me and my friends are like, "Dude, Dragon Ball Durag, it won a Grammy. Let's go."
Yeah, dude. So what I'm gonna do, because like I'm so happy that you mentioned Thundercat, because freaking I love Thundercat as well. Drunk is actually already on the playlist. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put Dragon Ball Durag on the playlist.
Put It Is What It Is. That whole album is awesome.
Oh wait, no, we can do that too. We can put It Is What It Is on the album, or on the playlist.
Funny thing, and Them Changes are probably my 2 favorite songs from him.
For sure. And that'll, yes, that'll be a good album to put on the playlist, because I actually have not heard this album.
I highly recommend listening to it.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to visit that, because I love Drunk. Drunk is like one of my favorite albums ever. I don't know why I haven't listened to It Is What It Is. I think it just like missed me. So yeah, we'll definitely go with that for sure. Very nice recommendation.
I'll tell you why you haven't listened to It Is What It Is, because the third artist, I listened to them so much after hearing the news. MF Doom. It's so sad that he passed recently. Like, God rest his soul. This dude, holy shit, hella underground, but like super duper slept on. I remember talking to coworkers last week. I was like, yeah, dude, I think over the pandemic, one of the deaths that kind of like really affected me was MF Doom. And they were like, who? And I was like, I'm gonna throw hands right now, dude. I put on MF Doom and they're like, oh my god, like, why haven't I heard this guy yet? And I'm like, because you're stupid. Like the way he formulates like lyrics on top of like like very meta jokes or meta topics that were like very important around the time that the songs came out. It's like, it's great. Like, Doomsday is fucking awesome. Food is just as great. And then he has like his side things. Forget what the album is called. Let me see, where is it?
Going through them right now.
Born Like This. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Born Like This. Oh my god, I love Born Like This. Yeah, MF Doom, like one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite artist.
Yeah, MF Doom definitely means a lot to me as well. Specifically, Mad Villainy was the album that really kind of touched me a lot and was my first exposure to the artist. But like, really, just a lot of his stuff is classics. Food is definitely another one that I like quite a bit. And yeah, MF Doom was super rough for me, and the entire end of 2020 was super rough for me, because MF Doom and Sophie, who's like a electronic producer, but like really transcended that and worked with a lot of like top tier artists and was just like kind of underground but just starting to break through. They passed at like around the same time, and that really messed me up, of like having like someone that was like a legend like the underground rap scene, and then like someone that was like a budding legend within like the underground electronic and hyperpop scene kind of pass at like similar times. And it's just like, this is a lot. But no, totally, MF Doom is definitely somebody that I'm willing to add onto the list. Now there's a similar thing to Thundercat. Mad Villainy is already there. What I mean, this is, I actually don't even want to ask you this. Like, there's a lot of material to choose from here, and everything's like a classic. Is there anything specifically that you want on the playlist from MF Doom?
From MF Doom? Dude, there's a lot.
Like literally, I don't even know how to phrase this question, because like, there's a lot of freaking albums here, and all of them are very good. So
I think if I had to add 5 songs, even if they're already there, it would have to be That's That, Accordion, All Caps, Rhymes Like Dimes, and Doomsday.
Okay, we can figure that out. I can definitely make sure that like those 5 songs are represented on the playlist specifically, alongside your LUJ and then Thundercat recommendations as well. So thank you for coming more than prepared for this caption section. This was amazing.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot too. Great day. Like, that's That's probably my favorite. Actually, that is my favorite MF Doom song.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that's on there too. Got this all recorded. I will definitely make sure all the songs are represented. But man, y'all nailed it. I'm so happy. The caption section was fantastic, and the whole podcast itself was fantastic. This was awesome. We're a bit over time. I do apologize for that. We're at like the 1 hour and 39-minute mark, but I hope y'all had fun. I hope this is cool.
Yeah, this is cool. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, nice and chill.
Very cool, very cool. That's the goal of the Crackin Atkins podcast. This has been episode 1. A special thanks to my guests here, Lonlily and YoFavScrub, joining me here for episode 1. Episode 2. It's not announced yet. It's also not planned yet. Maybe at the time that you're listening to this, it has been like released, but things are in the works. I have a lot of ideas of people who I want to get on here, some interesting duos, some interesting topics. So please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like that stuff. If you're on SoundCloud, follow, like, comment, that stuff. Spotify, wherever this is at, wherever you're listening, just show some type of support. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any feedback, and expect more Crackin Atkins podcast, the cap in all caps with no cap, and we will see you next time. Thank you all.